What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Daily Refinement. My name is Chris. Thank you so much for joining me. In this episode, I want to go over the three specific hunting skills you need to be successful at for reselling. Let's get straight into it. Hopefully, you guys can hear me in the audio. I'm going to check in the chat to make sure my audio is working before I continue. What's up, Mike? But this is really important, and all my episodes now are sponsored by my reseller guide, which the video version will be free in a couple of days, but you can buy the regular version for half off with code YouTube. But let's get straight into it. These are the three skills that you need to kill it in reselling. You guys ready? Here is skill number one, sniping. Okay, so if you are a hunter in the reselling world, this is what sniping is. You figure out something that sells really, really well. Let's say, for example, the Juul electronic cigarette. Incredible product, sells like crazy. Okay, so a sniper would figure out how to get this specific product for really cheap. They would contact the suppliers, all the distributors. They may go as far as to figuring out who's in charge of distribution and dating that person's kid. Okay, that's how far you may have to go in order to get into a product like Juul that sells thousands of times a day. Okay, very difficult to get into. This is a sniping skill. Okay, awesome, Cooper. Cooper was saying that he wants to be the Kyle Korver of thrifting. I agree. Kyle Korver, most underrated player in the NBA. But that is besides the point. Okay, so sniping, number one. Number two, trapping. Okay, this skill is very, very important. And it's when you get good at a few different categories. And this is my favorite type of reselling. This is what I do. You get good at three different categories. And specifically, you do something like this: you earn $100 profit in three different categories per day. And I recommend you do one at a time. So let's say, for example, you are Mike in the chat and you want to get good at books. Okay, so books is your first category. Don't dabble in a million different categories. Just focus on books until you get to $100 a day. You're going to figure out what it takes. It may be a certain number of books, and maybe hitting a certain mix of library sales or garage sales to get a certain amount of books where you can earn $100 per day. This is really critical, and it takes some time and some planning. But trapping is very, very, very powerful, and so I recommend you get really good at it. One species at a time. Okay, one category at a time. Three categories is a six-figure income. An example would be shoes. Actually, I'm gonna go really specific in the shoes because I'll give you an exact example. The Clutch Swag, my friend Kevin. Here are three categories that he does: runners, trainers, Jordans. Three different kinds. He's really good at all three. He has traps set up, meaning he knows managers. He has a route. He knows how to get the coupon codes. He knows when sales happen. He's a very, very good trapper. Okay, here is the final thing. This is what I call hunting with a net. Okay, which is okay, but I'll address Stacy was talking about. What about a specific brand or in clothing? This is a great example of what a like a person with a net would be. And actually, this is a little bit of a rough example, but let's just try to use it. And I'm going to use the category of, let's say, Ralph Lauren. Ralph Lauren is gigantic. You could go super, super, super wide. You could have dresses, hats, clothes, shirts, polos. You could have belts. You could have linens. You could have curtains. That's one brand, right? You could go super, super, super duper wide. I think they even make upholsteries for the insides of cars. They do everything. That's super, super, super wide. And in this category of hunter, has the most people who starve to death. Okay, because they never really get good enough at any of it. And sometimes in the slower seasons, they're not earning enough to eat and they don't really get really good at a specific category. And so sometimes you are processing, you caught a dolphin. You have to figure out how to work with that. And sometimes you catch a chipmunk. It's so random and it takes such a heavy amount of energy to switch from selling a dolphin to selling a squirrel. It's totally different. So those are totally two different animals, require a totally different set of skills, right? So in another thing related to catching things with a net is something I like, which is liquidation. Okay, so if you drop a bomb on in a forest, this is a really weird example. Sorry, guys. And then there's all this carnage, and you have all these different things to sell. This is what happens when you go to an estate sale or a garage sale or you buy liquidation lots, you're getting a lot of inventory for really, really, really cheap. But it's very, very messy. It's very difficult. It's totally different kind of skill. It's not even really like hunting. It's more like gathering. Okay, because it's just there's so much going on and it's extremely messy. Okay, so in the chat or in the comment section below, you guys should let me know. What would you rather be? Would you rather be a sniper and just pick a very specific product and get really, really good at it? Do you want to be a trapper and be good at a few different categories, or maybe just one category and three different subcategories? Or do you want to be a hunter with a net and just just have a store of thousands and thousands and thousands of items and just hopefully you run into customers? I don't know. Those are the three skills that I can see resellers having. But true to the beginning part of my call, hopefully you guys are still here. Please smash the like button. This part is a little bit, I think this is my best information ever. You guys ready? So this is the best nugget I have said ever. And it is, I have said a lot of stuff on the internet, but let's get into it. Okay, here we go. You are not free until you can choose your inputs. Okay. You're not free until you can choose your inputs. Most resellers don't choose their inputs. The inputs are given to them by what they find. They go out into the thrift store and whatever is cheap or available goes into their store. That is not freedom. That is the opposite of freedom. That means you are a slave to whatever you find. Okay? Not good. You're not truly free until you get to pick. Now, if you go to the thrift store and you know exactly what you're looking for, it's very different. It's a very different lifestyle. Okay, so I want you guys to all be free and enjoy a level of reseller nirvana. And in order to do that, you need to pick your inputs. Okay, you need to pick the inputs of your friends. You need to pick the inputs of your who you listen to. Do not log on to YouTube without knowing what you want to look for. Don't, because recommended is going to be how to build a clay hut. That is not the information that you need to be successful at reselling. But that's what YouTube knows will cater to your primitive mind. But really, what you want is don't log into on YouTube until you know exactly what you want to watch. Don't turn on your TV. You will get sucked into people like me or all the other resellers or all the other content creators trying to get your attention and whatever. Pick your input. So pick who you want to listen to. If you're gonna go on YouTube, you should definitely look up my channel. But if um, I'm not available, pick something that's related to what you're doing right now. So, for example, if you are picking baskets as your next thing, watch some basket material. I know that sounds obvious, but so many people are trying so many different categories. They're buying the wrong vintage goods. If somebody says Tommy Hilfiger selling really well for me, that doesn't mean every single Tommy Hilfiger item will sell. I don't know how that's not obvious, but the markets change all the time. Like only certain things sell at certain times. I found a vintage Tommy Hilfiger shirt from 1984, a spell out shirt that was like exactly on trend. It's still only sold for $60. That's not like worth it to get to just focus on one type of thing. So guys, okay. Now that you know this input thing, you're not free until you choose your inputs. I'm about to drop another bomb on you guys, okay? So I'm gonna have to word this properly. How do I crush this piece of information I'm about to give you guys? You're not free until you pick your inputs. Oh, okay, here we go. So I get a lot of people emailing me that are really hard on themselves. Chris, I can't do it. I'm struggling right now. Please help me. And I can help you. This is what the problem is. Too much information comes from not having enough constraints. Okay, so for example, let's say you are the type of person that watches 8 hours of random YouTube a day and you want to become a focused person. There's a long road to get there, right? So what you're going to have to do is start creating some constraints. Like, okay, I'm only going to listen to radical right-wing stuff on Tuesday, right? Then you can start to eliminate some of these things. You slowly whittle it down to having only a few things that you think about, and that's how you create focus. I don't believe people are unmotivated or they're lazy. I don't believe that. I don't believe most people are lazy. Some people are lazy, but not the people who listen to my channel, not the people who are trying to make it on their own. You're not lazy. You're just unfocused. And you can't become focused. You just have to remove distraction. Okay, so how what I said earlier about you not being free until you choose your inputs, that's the same thing I'm talking about. You have to be able to pick what's in your life. Your brain is like this hotel and just only let certain things live in it. Thrift traders talking about Longa burger baskets. I have a lot of Longa burger baskets. I have so many. I'm so tired. I think I have one right here. Longa burger basket. They do so well for me. I do like the Longa burger baskets that sell the best for me are the white ones. Let's see. Vineyard Vines is tanking because of Target. That's true. Tommy Bahama is dead as well. Don't like. Here's the thing. Like you can't rely on other people. Karen, thank you for stopping by. Digital minimalism. Hey, I like that. Another way of putting that is a low information diet. I like that too. I know. Eagle's saying it's hard to focus when I ramble so much off topic. It's true. Like I had this really specific outline before I started, but um, a couple of things distracted me, and it all came from having the chat open. This is why I've been not doing live videos because I want to be more focused when I'm talking to people. Because some people are like, "Bro, I only have 10 minutes in the car. You can't talk about raccoons," but I'm doing my best. Doing my best, guys. This is not I know this is obvious, but this is not a high production studio. It's just me in a storage unit. Hard goods have better, bigger profits sometimes. Um, nice. Tom sending an item to Tokyo. Tokyo is fantastic. If you guys ever have a chance to visit Japan, it's amazing. And thank you for stopping by. You like it when I ramble. I know some people would rather me just talk about my favorite cereal all day. I mean, I just want to be useful. Like I understand that being entertaining or rambling is useful for some people, but I really want to keep this focused. So I'm gonna summarize my topic today, and then I'm gonna go home. Okay, so these are the things that you need to focus on. You need to learn how to snipe. This is finding a specific product and tracking it all the way back to where it came from. You need to learn how to trap, which is figuring out three different categories, in my opinion, that you're really good at. Ideally, very similar, like runners, trainers, Jordans, very specific. Maybe you can focus on career shoes, career pants, career blouses, or you could be like my fiance. If she was going to sell on eBay or Poshmark or Mercari, what she would pick is wedding shoes. She wants to sell shoes to girls, or is it, I don't know if it's only women, maybe some men that are looking for expensive heels for their wedding. That's the demographic that she would want to sell in. She would want to get really, really good at it because people don't mind spending three to $500 on shoes for their wedding. That'd be the category that she wants to get into. So sniping, specific product, specific UPC, trapping, specific category, and then also reselling with a net, which is just selling a big, wide, random assortment of stuff and hoping that you snag some customers in it. That's great, but slowly try the disciplined pursuit of less, right? So start with that big, wide net and then slowly whittle it down to something that you really like to sell. And also, final thoughts, you're not free until you pick your inputs. Okay, so you have to pick what goes into your life before you're truly free. Most people are not lazy, they're not unmotivated, they're just distracted. There's too much stuff going on in your life. You need to start cutting things out of your life aggressively. And then finally, I'm going to take a few things from the chat and then we'll call it a day. Start searching outside of thrift, yard sales, storage auctions. True, true, true. You need to try a lot of different things to make this work. Serena, thank you for stopping by. Yeah, if you guys want to join my Discord group, you can go to patreon.com/daily refinement. You can also join the mastermind calls. The Discord group is $10 for life. I'm only doing that because people who are not willing to invest $10 have no business running a business. Come on, guys. Like it's I just spent $400 today hauling stuff that I don't want to sell anymore because it was not worth my time to make many trips to move it all out of my area. Just paid one time, $400 gone. How many people do you know that would be willing to do that because they don't value their time high enough? They're just like, well, I'm gonna spend 4 days driving this stuff to the dump. You just lost thousands of dollars. Everybody's time is worth so much. I think in the chat, every one of your time is worth $50 an hour or more. Just think about it that way. Your time is worth at least 50 bucks an hour. Everybody, at least, especially if you're an entrepreneur. Bohemian. What do I think about selling stuff? I think boho is fine. That's popular where I live, but I don't know. It depends on what market you're looking at. Like, um, somebody said the average American size is a size 10. Someone said that, and somewhere else it's a 14. There's certain cities where it's a 20. Where I live, it's like size 2. Everyone's skinny here. I don't know. You cut. Uh, oh, nice. You're in the business of just driving truckloads of cash. Amazing. That's a really good business. Wow. Duncan's time's worth 600 bucks an hour. I appreciate you, Duncan. He's always in my Discord group talking to people. So he's spending thousands of dollars investing in you guys in that group. And also, I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch my videos. I am just insanely grateful right now. I'm in a great, great, great mood because I'm just so fortunate to have a lot of cool people to talk to about reselling. I live in an area with tons of good stuff. Yes, the average rent where I live is 3,300 bucks, which is a little bit expensive, and gas is almost $5 a gallon, but it's worth it. I live in beautiful California. It's like 70 degrees all year. I'm grateful. No complaining here. Um, I know. So Anna's talking about valuing her time on Poshmark. I agree. But that being said, most of the stuff that sells on Poshmark is under 20 bucks. So it's just people liquidating their closets. I'm not like I don't know if I'm gonna start making Poshmark content again. Probably. I'll make a little bit of it. I really like Poshmark, but I also really like stuff that's expensive, and Poshmark stuff's usually not that expensive. When I was selling $20 stuff on Poshmark, every single month was over 20 grand. I was killing it. But now I'm just not that interested in doing that much work. At one point I had 7 employees. When I was poshing my face off, that I was spending 13 grand a week on insane amounts of stuff going into my store. And the analogy I use is basically my eyes were bleeding every day from looking at a computer screen for 13, 14, 15 hours a day. I'm just trying a different thing. Like that makes a lot of money because finding stuff that sells for $20 is not very hard. Okay, so you can just buy truckloads of this stuff and just process it, and your eyes will bleed. That's how I felt, but you can just move some crazy volume every day, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 packages. But I've chosen a more relaxed life now. I know it was ridiculous. It was like every single day was $1,000 in sales, just Poshmark, and Poshmark wasn't my main thing. But sorry, it was like my neighbor has a monster truck. Yeah, Joshua. I love OfferUp. I love OfferUp. I just started selling on there, and now that I'm selling stuff like furniture and just random things that I enjoy selling, OfferUp is fantastic. Cash. I just sold a weight set today. I bought a bench and a bar for 40, sold it for 160. So I love OfferUp. It's very, very fun. I haven't had any issues. Like people lowball on every platform, and so it is what it is. I love OfferUp. Yuri, I'm gonna post a video I did with Paul Lipsky about hiring people shortly. I've already done it. I just need to upload it. Um, Posh is getting saturated. I don't agree with that. Poshmark is fine. You could still make a ton of money on Poshmark. It's growing. Their community is insane. Like people spend hundreds of dollars hosting a Posh and Sip party for free out of their own pocket. They just love Poshmark that much. Imagine an eBay person spending $200 to host a party for other eBay sellers. That's not going to happen ever. eBay sellers are not like that. There's no way. The community, they don't want to, they, that's not, it's totally different. Poshmark is still growing. They are growing. There are a lot of crazies out there. Yeah, there are a lot of crazies out there. But that's okay. You know that like you guys know I'm a fan of Joe Rogan. Like the concept of he says out of 100 people, well let me think what you guys think in the chat. Out of 100 people, how many people are morons? Right? I mean that's is that a discriminatory word? Hopefully not. Hopefully I don't get in trouble for saying that. But out of 100 people, how many people would you guess are a moron out of 100? Joe Rogan says at least one, right? So there's 350 million people in the United States. That's 3.5 million morons. That's a lot. That's a lot of morons. So it's now that I know that, like, there's no way out of 100 people, one person is not gonna not pull their weight. So we have all those. That's a lot of people out there causing problems. 20. Wow, you guys have a really low, a really low expectation of humanity. There's no way 20 people out of 100 are morons. Wow, you have a really low threshold for people in the world. Crazy. Um, you move from clothing to shoes. Awesome. 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 More, yeah, it's true. Moron is multicultural. It's true. It leaves no race unturned. There are morons in every culture. I love it. I love it. All right, guys, I got to get back to work. Sorry for having a rambling video. Most of my videos are very on point. This one, I didn't have time to do the whole uploading thing. So, thanks guys for stopping by. Again, if you want to check out my reseller guide, it'll be in the description below. If you want to email me at chris@dailyrefinement.com, I would appreciate you reaching out. Any questions you have, I will eventually answer them. Everyone, take care.